Omni Edition Sports presents from Garden City High School in Garden City, Michigan, Cougar football. Tonight, the Garden City Cougars take on the Inkster Vikings. Hi, everybody. This is Dan York along with Ted Fournier as we get ready to bring you the final game of 2012 for Garden City High School. It's also homecoming, and it's also Parents' Night here at Garden City High School. So, Ted, on a very, very rainy night, lots going on here in Garden City.
Well, Garden City's going to try to get its fifth victory tonight, and in most years that's just for pride. But in the Michigan High School Athletic Association, if you have 5 victories, there is always an outside chance, depending on how your opponents did, that you might sneak into the playoffs. Very slim, but Slim hasn't left town yet. The other story tonight is that there's a lot of moisture out there, and Inkster runs a spread offense and runs the Wildcat, puts the ball in the air, flips it around. There should be a lot of fun watching that ball be caught and being carried tonight. So it's an anything can happen game. Everything on the field is exciting, but Garden City's playing for pride tonight.
And one of the main problems that Garden City has in thinking about the playoffs is that forfeit win to Annapolis. That's the minimum amount of points that you can get.
And you can't get any points, yeah.
And you really can't. You know, that's what's really going to kill them. The fact that one of their 5 wins will be against the Annapolis Cougars. And we've talked about the weather. We've shown you the rain coming down. On the track right now is Tom Iwinski, who helps us on the sideline and gives us our weather updates. And, Tom, this is definitely a night for you. Rain coming down here at Garden City High School, and it's probably going to last a little bit, isn't it?
Absolutely. This rain is just relentless, and it's going to continue for probably the entire game. That's not really good news, but I mean, it's not really hampering any of the spirits. It's still very lively out here. You just need to keep the umbrellas handy. But yeah, as I've been saying, this radar, as you look at the radar, you could see a large area of light to moderate rain all across the region, and it's coming from the south and moving north. So as you can look at the radar, it's really going to be here for the rest of the night probably, and the rest of the game. And currently it's really chilly out there. We were in the 50s all day today. We got up to 57, but now we're in the 40s. Right now it's 49 degrees, and it's only going to be in the upper 40s to mid 40s for the rest of the game. And those winds aren't too terribly strong out there. They're from the southeast at about 3 miles an hour, and that's going to be pretty much the norm for the rest of the game. And as you said, there's a lot of humidity out there at 85%, which is definitely evident out there.
Right, we had temperatures in the 70s just 2 days ago, a gradual drop-off yesterday and a pretty significant drop-off here today for this one. So along with the rain, the cooler weather moves in and really more typical and more appropriate for this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a little bit below average this time of year to be this chilly. We're supposed to be in the 60s, but yeah, it's definitely a chilly pattern out there, and it's definitely not really hampering any of the spirits out there. It's still very lively, and
but it may hamper the field at some time tonight.
It could. It definitely could. It could get a little muddy and a little brisk out there, but it should be an overall good night, though.
All right, Tom. We'll check back with you later on. Thanks very much.
All right.
That's Tom Iwinski, Doppler Tom as he's known, and he provides information for us here on Omni Edition Sports and GCTV. Also has that great website that you can check out, and we'll have more information on that later in the game. So, Ted, you look at an Inkster team that's won only 2 games this season. As you said, some turnover at Inkster High School as far as their coaching staff. They had a coach that had a couple of great years there at Inkster. He has moved on, and now it's been 2 coaches in 2 years for the Vikings.
Well, they also had a great player in Devin Gardner as their quarterback, and Devin has moved on to Ann Arbor and is now playing a little split end for the Wolverines. But when Devin was here, they had a number of all-state caliber athletes, and Coach Carter, who is one of the better coaches in high school football, had another opportunity at Oak Park High School and moved on, and some of his players followed him, which left Inkster a little light on talent, and over the last 2 years they've had 2 different coaches.
And Garden City High School, coached by Scott Murray in his 3rd season. Last year he took the Garden City Cougars to the playoffs. We mentioned that playoffs not very likely this season, the outside chance of making the playoffs this year. But this one, as you said, is more for pride and more to make sure that you keep your head above water and finish with a 500-plus season.
Well, it's two things, Dan. It's the seniors' last games, and some of these seniors have been playing football now for 10 years, and it's going to hit them when they take those shoulder pads out this evening that this might have been their last game. And also, the juniors want to play because they're starting to look forward to next year already. The other thing is, Inkster's the kind of team that has given Garden City some problems this year. We have done a few games this year, and speed on the outside has hurt Garden City. Inkster has a lot of skilled players, and they run this unconventional wildcat spread formation. You're going to see trips on one side. You're going to see 4 receivers, naked backfields. You're going to see direct snaps. Inkster is going to have the ball all over the field, which Garden City counters by standing 11 guys up on defense, moving 3 down linemen back 2 yards, and so it's going to be unconventional offense against unconventional defense tonight.
And according to Scott Murray, he's going to throw everything he has at the Vikings here tonight. He's going to try to run some plays some trick plays that he hasn't been able to run during the regular season. Although with this slick turf tonight, it's possible that he might have to pull back on that plan a little bit and try to get some points on the board first.
It'll be interesting to see how many times you shout out the ball, a fumble, or balls on the turf. And I've checked with your doctor. You're limited to 10 really loud shout-outs.
All right. We talked about the Annapolis game and the fact that the Cougars lose playoff points. Well, looking at some of the stats tonight, one of those being Tomas McNeil. He has 852 yards on the season. He still might have a 1,000-yard season, but without that Annapolis game, he lost an opportunity to gain yardage there. All right, now on the field, our Cougar Band with our national anthem, along with the Garden City Singers.
Tonight's colors are being presented by the Garden City High School Junior Air Force ROTC under the command of Cadet First Lieutenant Jacob Noel. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing while the Garden City High School band, chorus, and alumni honors America with our national anthem.
So that's the Cougar Band with a new band director this season as they try to rebuild that program here at Garden City High School. And a decent crowd here on a very, very wet night. Again, it's homecoming, so normally a big crowd on hand, but because of Garden City's odd schedule and going on the road for so long, homecoming falls on the last game of the season, which I don't believe has ever happened, at least as long as I've been here, Ted.
Well, I know that the excitement was wonderful. Having some open gyms over the last 2 weeks. So I know all the young ladies were excited as all get out for tonight's activities and tomorrow's dance. So this is a special evening. The rain can't hurt it. Maybe a hurricane could hurt it, but Tom said no hurricanes. I watched that. Also, I was noticing when Tom was talking, that big blue, was that the green blob from the 70s? Remember that movie? That blob that attacked Detroit?
It looks like Pac-Man attacking, but Now, these are the standings of the Western Wayne Athletic Conference Red Division coming into this game tonight, and the conference standings will stay exactly where they are. Robichaud, the champions of the Red Division. Thurston with that 4-1 record. Garden City at 3-2. That's where they'll stay. 2-3 for the Chargers, 1-4 for RU, and Annapolis 0-5. But Annapolis folded their football program before the season started. So Garden City with that 4-4 overall record wants to salvage this year. And Inkster, this is a non-conference game today, but it will be a conference game next year as Inkster will join the Western Wayne Athletic Conference, and they will join it in the spring, not in the fall, as they kind of reshuffle the teams in the Western Wayne Athletic Conference. So 6-25 will be deep for Inkster. That's Aaron Lewis and Kenneth Lawson. 36 will be kicking off for Garden City. That's Bogalski.
You know, you were saying that Coach Murray is going to throw everything but the kitchen sink on them. I'd like to see a real quick onside kick here. Get the ball wet, get it on the ground, get it squirting around, and maybe you could start out the game by getting the ball back.
Well, we'll find out about that in about 10 seconds here, Ted Fournier. We haven't thanked them yet, but thanks to the volunteers who are out here tonight in the pouring rain, have been setting up in the rain, and they're in the rain, and we're underway here at Garden City High School as Bogalski kicks it deep. Remember, this is a live ball. 25 picks it up. That is Lawson. And Lawson gets nowhere against Garden City.
Lawson had trouble finding the handle of that wet pigskin. He danced around back there around the 5-yard line till Garden City hemmed him in and finally dropped him. So no really return. I think they're going to spot it on the 7. 93 yards away, but in great field position if Garden City can hold him down there.
Did you ever take the filters off the cameras? Okay, they look really good. All right, we expect Terrence Richards, number 7, to be at quarterback for Inkster. He did not start the season under center, but due to an injury is moved into that starting spot, and he will be under center to begin this game. For the Inkster Vikings, only about a mile and a half down Middle Belt Road. 2-9 in the backfield. 2 is Martin, and 9 is Roper. First down for Inkster here on homecoming at Garden City High School. And the give is to the second man, Roper, and Roper is just met by a mess of black jerseys, and I believe Robert Lucas was the first one to meet him.
Yeah, the Cougars, there was no hole there on the Inkster line, and I gave you all the fans this story about spread offense, and they came out very tight with an I formation behind them and just ran the ball down there. Nothing fancy.
So Roper gained about a yard. Now they'll bring a wide out near us. That's Juan Hernandez. Same backfield. Roper and Martin. Man in motion is Hernandez. And the give is to Martin. And Martin, again, Garden City's defense hems him in.
Short of the 10-yard line, pickup of a couple, but once again, this is a great opportunity to start the game, put Inkster deep in their own zone, and force them to kick around their own goal line. This should give Garden, this play here is right early in the game, one of those plays that dictate what happens in this game.
So a 3rd down and 9 for Inkster. Looked to be the Tommy Vincent was there for Garden City on that last play, so this is a big play. Lewis will split out to the right. Hernandez on the east end of the field. Back to pass. All by himself is Lewis. Lewis gets the first down up around the 33-yard line with the tackle for Garden City is Sheldon Spears.
Nice cover. Lewis had one-on-one coverage on him, and he was wide open, and he just went down, got first down yardage, turned around, caught the ball, and then got some gravy on top of them potatoes.
So they'll spot it at the 30, so a big 3rd down play for the Inkster Vikings as their first pass attempt, and it's successful against this Garden City team. So Lewis again will come to this side. 2 in the backfield. That's Martin and Roper. The give to Martin. And once again, Garden City stops the run. Garden City thinks there's a fumble. Let's see. There is, and Garden City comes up with it. 54, Tommy Vincent there for the Cougars. And the first turnover of the game, and Garden City has great field position on this first down.
That's what this whole night's going to be about, Dan, is that ball is wet, and you're going to see it squirting around all night long. Inkster comes out with 2 guards, 2 tackles, 2 tight ends, very run-orientated offense, and they drop the ball because it's wet.
So Martin on the carry, coughs it up. It'll be Garden City's ball. 2 wideouts for the Cougars. Under center for Garden City will be Kyler Hubbs. He didn't start the season at quarterback, but he's gotten most of the snaps. McNeil gives it back to Hubbs. He airs it out, and right there, he had to wait for it, Kevin Brown-Bacon did, and we've got a flag on the play.
You were saying how Scott Murray's going to pull it all out. That's the old flea flicker, wasn't it?
It was. I didn't see a pass interference down there. And it's pass interference against Inkster. Are you trying to referee it all? Because he just made the call.
Yeah, you have to send that ball on a line. When you wait for it that long, that gives the defender a chance to come out and catch it.
Well, that's a big call. So 1st and 10 for Garden City. Ball's at the 19-yard line. And pushing ahead is Hubbs. Look at that. They go from the flea flicker to the draw. It's not even a draw, really, just a quarterback power.
Little Tim Tebow play there. 10 yards on that run. Inkster's had 3 runs and hasn't got 5 yards. Garden City on their first running play, that offensive line just shoved the defensive line toward the goal. You know what, Dan? Let's see if they can do it twice in a row.
So Kyler Hubbs under center. McNeil in the backfield. 1st and goal. The give is to McNeil. McNeil battles ahead, fumbles into the end zone. Let's see. No signal from the officials.
They're going to say his knee was down before he got into
All right.
So they get a break there, but now that's twice the ball's been loose. Watch
so
it.
2nd and goal at the 2.
They're going to set up once again. I would just push the ball forward.
And McNeil into the end zone. Touchdown, Garden City. Tomas McNeil. Runs through the open space and picks up the TD. Number 10 on the season.
And there go about 75 cheerleaders from the class of 2016 all the way back to 1982.
So Garden City on the board early with 8 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this one. And they'll try to kick the extra point. And it is good, so 7-0, Garden City on the board here in the first quarter. Let's look at that touchdown run. Well, at least we got the celebration.
Well, one thing early, Dan, and I think Coach Scott Murray has figured this out, only took 3 plays. His big guys are shoving their big guys down the field, and offensively, their big guys aren't doing anything against ours. So when you talk about the war of the big uglies, Garden City is winning it here early in the first quarter.
And Inkster with only 30 players dressed tonight. Garden City dresses over 50. So if it's a attrition thing, Garden City should win it.
Well, one thing we know, Dan, the ball's wet, the grass is wet, the hands are wet, the arm's wet, and the uniform's wet.
But we're dry up here.
Maybe we should start carrying the ball. Harold's wet,
yeah, and
too.
Harold's wet, along with Rob Rancor and Brett George, and our thanks to them for being here.
Don't give the ball to Harold tonight. He'll fumble.
So Bogowski will kick off for Garden City. 6 and 25 deep again, Lewis and Lawson. And it's off his hands. He doesn't know where it is. Loose ball. Fumble. It's still on the ground. Let's see. And it's Inkster's ball. I think he took his eye off of it.
We've had about 9 plays and the ball's been loose 3 times now, Dan.
Lawson just seemed to look away from the ball, and then it clanged right off his hands.
I wasn't paying attention to Weatherman Tom. Did he say it was wet out there?
I think he did. There you see. And right off of his hands, lays on the ground, the hustle for it, on the ground again, and Inkster recovers.
They might be better off just going to the air here.
1 for 1 so far for Inkster. Lewis, the receiver on this side, and they give us the second man through. I believe that's Lawson. And nothing again on the ground for Inkster. And my correction, that was Martin with the carry.
The ball gets snapped, and Garden City is just collapsing the white shirts. And there's been no hole there at all.
8 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. You're watching Omni Edition Sports, GCTV. This is Homecoming at 2012. We'll have the crowning of the Homecoming Queen at halftime. They had a big assembly today here at the high school. Had all of their Spirit and Activity Week stuff. Richards under center. Gives it the first man through this time. And again, just nothing but black jerseys for Juan Hernandez.
Well, we have documented the most successful play, and here comes a whole slew of new players in for Inkster. Let's see if they were practicing before the game, nothing but wild cards, cat stuff. They were spread all over the field, and they've come in with this power I formation. 1 receiver, and like I said, 2 guards, 2 tackles, and 2 tight ends, 2 backs, and they've been trying to run the ball, and their only successful play has been a pass, and here they got their wildcat in here.
4 wideouts, 2 in the backfield. One of them, the quarterback, on the shotgun. Richards takes the shotgun. That one is tipped at the line of scrimmage, and a pass interference call coming for Garden City against Christian Little.
Which will be an automatic first down around the 35-yard line. The ball and him arrived at the same time, and they're going to call pushing. And that's Inkster's, watch Inkster's second first down here.
Like I said, I think that pass was deflected first. He had no chance of catching it.
If it was deflected as you called it, then that would have been totally legal.
So the ball will be spotted at the 38-yard line. It appeared to change direction to me, unless it was just a wounded duck out of his arm.
And they're back in the spread formation here, 4 receivers.
Richards, shotgun. They give to the one man back there with him. And he is met by number 5, Sheldon Spears.
Sheldon Spears looked at his man, decided it was going to be a running play, and did what aggressive corners do. He came in and stuffed that play. Watch, he comes in from the left side of your picture here, and boom, right there. He let his man go and did what a corner likes to do. Come on in and pop somebody.
Martin, the ball carrier. There's a loss of 2, so second down and 12. 4 receivers set, 3 on the far side. Naked backfield.
Short of the first down.
I thought
that looked like
I
a
thought
lateral.
it was a shotgun. The quarterback was up so tight underneath the center, and I didn't realize he was there.
He got the ball, and he actually turned around and hit a man in the slot position who actually backed up. So that was a lateral. If that hits the ground, that would have been anybody's ball. It's going to be short about a yard on that. I think they needed 12, they got 11.
So third down and 2 for Inkster. 4 wideouts again. Martin in the backfield. Richards under center.
Same play this way. Watch this. Now they go down.
Gives it to the man in the backfield, and he gets nowhere. Martin
It was 3rd and 2. It's now 3rd and 5 as he dropped him 3 yards in the backfield.
Daniel Moore, number 66, with the tackle for Garden City.
They had the exact same formation, but to the other side, to this side, the closest to us, Dan, and I thought they were going to try the same pass. They have been successful passing. They have not been able to run.
So it's a 4th and 4. Right now, nobody in the backfield for Garden City. Possibly that Scott Murray doesn't want anybody touching the ball in this rain, but it looks like Inkster doesn't punt.
No, they're in that same trips to this side formation.
Martin in the backfield,
Yeah,
Richards back. Richards with a little dump pass intended for Lewis. And Inkster will turn it over on downs at their own 45-yard line, Ted.
Well, that's a coaching decision. There's a lot of coaches don't want to give up the ball, and looks like they were going to try the same.
4th down, though, that deep in your own territory, I just can't see running that play.
Well, the Cougars have not been stopped yet. They have been able to push the line. They're right at the 45-yard line. Let's see if they just hand it off once again.
You can see the rain coming down on the dark background. There's the pitch to McNeil. McNeil up to the 45, to the 40. Keeps his balance. McNeil over the 30. McNeil still on his feet over the 20-yard line. Tomas McNeil. He may get that 1,000 yards tonight yet.
That's exactly. You said 8:57, so he needs 143. And the offensive line just crushed the right side of the defense. Watch this. This is student body coming to our way. Everybody's pulling out. Gets a block right there. Trips, keeps his balance, still on his feet.
Great job by Garden City's blockers.
Nice balance, too.
And there's McNeil again, battling his way up over the 15-yard line.
So he's got at least 30 yards of that 143 he needed. We got John on the stats again tonight?
He's a coward today. I think he's up here in the press box, so we'll be able to get what we need from John Fleming.
Wait. You just said anybody in the press box a coward.
That's right.
That's that side of the press box. It's brave to be in this side.
Because we could potentially open the roof and get wet. Is that it?
That's it.
Number 9, Kyler Hubbs gets rid of it.
Inkster is just not being aggressive on defense. And by that, I mean they're waiting for Garden City to hit them. This is a hit or be hit, and they're being hit. And every time you are being hit, you're giving up real estate. That's what Garden City is now once again in the red zone.
Little up to the 3 for Garden City. McNeil in the backfield again. Gian Grande lines up at the tight end. Give to McNeil. McNeil near the end zone. McNeil touchdown. Tomas McNeil with 2 touchdowns already in this one. And Garden City leads it now 13-0, hoping to make it 14.
Garden City at this point, if this continues all night, can dictate their score because they have not been stopped on any play. The only thing that's been in Inkster's favor is a couple penalties, but if Garden City continues its dominance, they can name their score tonight.
Bogowski to attempt the point after, and it's no good. So our score with 2:50 remaining, 13-0, as you see McNeil just power his way in, and Inkster does not have an answer for Tomas McNeil.
13-0 here in the first quarter. We still got almost 3 minutes to go, 2:50 on the clock. And Dan, this is going to be a rivalry. Not so much tonight. This might be an establishment game, like you said. Even you and I could walk from this school to Inkster in less than a day and a half.
Let's not be crazy, Ted. Let's not be crazy. Lewis and Lewis deep. Go ahead.
There's some benches along the way.
There you go. We have 3 Lewises on this Inkster team. Aaron Lewis and Levon Lewis deep. Bogowski kicking off.
At this point, it looks like they need Sherman Lewis and Carl Lewis, too.
So Bogowski kicking off from the 40. They fake the onside kick. Bigowski powers it deep. Oh, and it's right off the face mask. Picked up by 11, and he will be brought down. There's a face mask on the Cougars. Hernandez picked it up after the fumble, and I think Garden City's going to get called for a face mask.
Inkster is totally confused by this kickoff formation. This will give 15 yards to Inkster. And the Garden City defense back on the field. They've been stellar tonight. They've given up a couple first downs, but one was on a pass, the other was on a penalty.
So the ball will be spotted at the 33-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Vikings. So 13-0, Garden City on top. There's the pitch to number 2, Martin. And Martin, nothing there.
Once again, the Inkster ball carrier having trouble getting back to the line of scrimmage. It's just the ball is being hiked, and the front 4 is collapsing the front 5 for Inkster. Actually, Inkster has a front 7 with its 2 tight ends, and you would think they would be able to power run, get some 3, 4, 5 yardage, a little Ohio State, Michigan in the 60s type football. But no way, the front line of the Cougars is dominating the line of scrimmage.
So 2nd down and 12 now for Inkster. Hernandez, the wide out here. Richards under center. He's looking for Hernandez, and it's incomplete right through his hands.
That sometime tonight, the corner or the safety for Garden City is going to jump that route and score 6 going the other way. That's a one-on-one pattern, and the ball was hung up there. Garden City defender could have jumped that and still be running. I think we're going to see the spread formation as we have 4 or 5 new players coming in on 3rd down here.
As you mentioned, Ted, there's probably, I don't know, 40 cheerleaders?
I was looking at 70. That class of 82 is something else, Dan.
Richards, this is a shotgun formation, and he fumbles the ball. Under pressure now, Garden City in pursuit. Richards running for the sidelines. He is knocked out of bounds.
I think he got the first down.
He might have.
That's what happens on a broken play, Dan. The ball gets fumbled, everybody looks up, lets up a little. You pick up the ball and you can make something happen. Not that you want to plan that.
There you see, fumble the ball right there. Now Garden City in pursuit. And he stepped out way short of the first down. The referee in the backfield called him out at the 36. So 4th down now. McNeil will be deep for Garden City, and Inkster will punt this time.
Let's see if
Richards is back there, the punter and the quarterback.
You called for Scott to just let the ball hit the ground and start wherever it goes. Let's see if that's what happens.
There's a ground ball to the punter. He gets it off. McNeil is going to pick it up. I didn't think he would. Gets past the sliding defender. One of the Inkster players takes the other one out. McNeil on the sideline still, but they called him out of bounds closer to about the 45-yard line.
Well, he took a chance. Remember, he got a really sweet, nice ground ball hop to the shortstop type of play. He picked it up. Watch him pick it up and he had a burst of speed, too.
So Richards didn't get much on the punt. I thought he would let it go. Gets around that man. Then you see a couple of other Inkster players flying through the air in the backfield. He thought he was still in bounds at that point, but he had stepped out. So McNeil with a huge night tonight for Garden City.
Oh, it's not over. It's just begun.
Cameron Daniels over here to pitch to McNeil. McNeil wants to throw it. He's got Daniels in traffic. Daniels tries to come back to the ball. He can't quite make it.
Daniels was open, and then the ball was pop up to the shortstop, so he had to come back to it. But if that had some zip to it, Daniels was open. They had lost him immediately as that play unfolded.
So 2nd down and a 10 for Garden City. McNeil in the backfield again. Quarterback keeps it with pursuit, gains about 2.
Dropped the ball, it's going the other way.
I thought he was down. Let's see what happens here. Flags on the field. The ball is still loose, folks. This ball is still on the ground. I have no idea who came up with it last. It looks possibly like Garden City's 72 Austin Hoare came up with it. We've got a flag way back, but I thought he was already down in the first place.
Folks, that's a 50-yard fumble.
Holy Toledo.
Dan, I want to hear your call of that again.
Yeah, our referee mic is not working in the rain, so we'll have to watch the referee and see what he signals. Ted, you keep an eye on that. I'll watch the referee.
It hit the ground, and it's still on Inkster's ball at this point. They're advancing.
Was that a lateral to try to keep the ball alive?
I don't know. Now the ball, Inkster picks it up, and finally here goes 72.
Keep kicking it, boys.
And he's got it.
At the 2.
Now let's freeze. If we can just get 72 slide, that is how you recover a fumble. You go to your side and you cup it. You don't fall on top of it.
It's also how you slide into second base.
Now, there's about 4 change of possessions there. So is it first down? Down there?
Holy Toledo.
Or is it 2nd down and 60? Because they got to get to the 37 for a first down, Dan.
Our referee trying to go to the mic, but it's not working.
Now, there could have been, the knees could have hit somewhere along the line, so. They're going to say it's Inkster's ball, because it looked to me at some point a knee may have hit the ground with the ball.
So we've got less than a minute remaining in the quarter. Wow. Well, kind of what you expect. Referee having a conversation with Scott Murray near the 40-yard line.
Looks like are they going to walk a penalty off from the 36? They called it Inkster's ball. Illegal lateral or illegal?
I don't know. Well, Garden City, they kicked the ball to advance it.
You called, I think you called a lateral as the flag was thrown. So,
but was that against
it's
Inkster?
Against Inkster. Inkster had possession of the ball.
All right, so that is illegal forward pass against Inkster.
Illegal forward pass. And so it looks like they're going to have the ball first down and 10 at Garden City 41. So
I'm so spoiled I don't remember what the signals are.
Back in high school, we called this razzle-dazzle football, and that's what we're going to have with this wet ball tonight.
So 59.4 seconds remaining in the quarter. The give to the first man through is Roper.
That's actually the best running play Inkster's had tonight.
He gains about 3 yards on the play. We'll call it 2nd down and 7. The ball's at the 39-yard line. Clock is running, 30 seconds remaining here in the half.
First quarter, isn't it, Dan?
In the first quarter, rather. Aaron Lewis at the far end. Richards.
That ball might be on the ground.
That ball
again.
might be loose again. Looked like 27, Martin on the carry. But Garden City's defense stingy tonight, just not giving anything up, and that is the end of the first quarter. With the score, Garden City 13, Inkster nothing. So a very entertaining first half, that's for sure.
And I think the gun just went off.
Todd Podizak's on a little delay tonight.
Well, it's gonna be interesting, Dan. Here it's third down, and I think we're going to see the skilled positions come in here for Inkster.
Food services for the crew and volunteers of Omni Edition Television and GCTV are provided by the Honey Baked Ham Company. Visit their new location at 42452 Cherry Hill Road in Canton. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it's much more than that delicious ham. They also have lunch served all day and ready-to-serve dinners. And don't forget the Honey Baked Ham Company for the holidays. Again, visit them at their new location in Canton or check out their website at honeybaked.com. That's the Honey Baked Ham Company. So Inkster with it. They trail 13-0. Richard pops it over the middle, and it is dropped by Johnson.
Johnson took his eyes off of that. There was a little fake, and then he was just going to hit him on a slant pattern. He was open, but he took his eyes off of that one, and it's going to be fourth down.
So 4th and 7 for the Vikings, and they'll change units. Interesting that they look like they might punt here. And the rain looks like it's actually getting worse here at Garden City High School. Lots of people parked on the surrounding streets to watch the game rather than set in the stands, although I don't see how you could get wet because there's about 400 umbrellas out here. So even if you didn't bring one, I'm sure you could find one to sit under. Richards just straight up into the air. Garden City wants to make sure they don't touch it. It's down to around the 16-yard line, and 1st and 10 for Garden City from their own 16.
You know, the one thing about tonight's game, we keep talking about the rain and the field conditions. This is what kids love to play football in. And 20 years from now, this will be one of the games that every player on the field will remember and be talking to their sons, and 40 years from now, their grandsons. But playing on a wet field, snow field, in the rain, this is just pure football heaven.
And this is not what camera people look back on fondly, in case you were wondering. 1st and 10 from the 19 for Garden City. Still on his feet.
Actually, I beg to differ, because I remember meeting Brett George, and you were telling me at that time that he was all wet even then. So.
Hey, ho! We sent Harold up in the lift tonight, so he'd be closer to the rain.
Well, he'll be the first one to know when it stops.
So 2nd down for Garden City. Hubbs under center. Nice move there by Giangrande. Giangrande up all the way to the 40-yard line. So Giangrande picks up a 1st down for Garden City.
He had some big holes to run through there, Dan. Great blocking. Watch him as he goes. This is student body to the left.
It's maybe the first time that Giangrande touched the ball. He fooled Harold. So the ball at the 39-yard line, 1st and 10 for Garden City.
Garden City running off a very tight double wing formation here.
No wideouts for Hubbs. Gives it to McNeil. McNeil trying to stay on his feet. McNeil fights his way near a 1st down.
The whole Inkster line just got shoved back 9.5 yards here.
They won't measure this one. It'll be 2nd down and less than a yard for Garden City. Still in a bunch for Garden City. McNeil by himself in the backfield, man in motion. Tomas McNeil picks up the first down. He'll battle ahead for a gain of about 4, maybe 5.
This ball game's getting more and more fun as all 11 black shirts are within a yard of the line of scrimmage. Inkster has 9 of their 11. So you got 20 players right around the ball, and Garden City's just pushing them down the field.
So 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line for Garden City. It looks like they'll keep the ball on the ground, especially in the middle of the field where it's a little sloppy. Giangrande takes the handoff. Giangrande up over the 45-yard line. He'll be pushed out of bounds with a gain of about 3.
That time he was strung out nicely by the Inkster defense.
Take a look at Giangrande's jersey.
Mom's going to have to wash it tonight.
Good thing it's the last game of the season because it might take till next year to get the mud out.
Third down, Dan.
Got second down on the sticks.
All right, I was wrong.
And battling ahead is McNeil.
I just had a premonition that after this play it was going
to be third down. Giangrande, though a senior, I mentioned it'll take him till next year for his mom to clean his jersey off, but it won't matter.
Boy, you were saying they were going to open up this game. Garden City has got back to the basics.
Well, I think until they get to some solid sod, this may be the plan. McNeil with the first down.
Nice quick hitter.
Up over the 35-yard line to about the 33 or 34.
13-0 at the 9:05 mark. Garden City, they've had their way on the offense. Whatever they've wanted to do, they've been able to do it.
So 1st and 10 now from the 34. Garden City still in that tight formation. And the quarterback Hubbs will take it. And this is the second time Garden City's run this play, and it's been a success both times.
Hubbs just gets behind the offensive line, and the two backs get behind him and shove him. Make sure he keeps up with the offensive line.
Jacob Little for Garden City, and it looked like Roper for Inkster jawing at each other a little bit. 2nd down and 2. You know, it's a tale of 2 games. Inkster doesn't have a JV, and last night Garden City's JV played John Glenn, and, well, Garden City got their lunch handed to them by the Rockets last night, and there was some frustration in that one for the Cougars as McNeil gets tackled in the backfield for probably only the 2nd loss of the day for Garden City.
He kind of hesitated on that sweep. I think he wanted to look downfield for a halfback pass, and he kind of hesitated, was adjusting the ball, and he who hesitates winds up with a 2-yard loss.
So 3rd down and the 6 for the Cougars.
Let's see if they just go right up the middle.
All the fans with umbrellas dressed in their...
there they go.
Boy, they're just pushing the Inkster line. They're still up there, folks. Well, he may have gotten the first down.
There's really no
fumble on the play and recovered by Inkster. So in that melee, Rayfield Jones came up with it. I don't know how it came loose, but it's Inkster's ball. And Scott Murray, who hates offensive turnovers, and I don't even know if we'll be able to tell from this. I think he stripped it because I think he had it before they went to the ground.
I think what you got to do is once you get to the point where you know you're not going forward anymore, drop. Because
yeah, right there. It looks like Jones just took it out of the running back's hands.
Because they're standing you up, and if you don't hit the ground, they're going to strip you.
By there, I think he's got the ball already. So the Vikings get it on their own 20-yard line. Again, we'll have the homecoming court at halftime. Richards under center. Gives it to the second man.
He broke loose. He broke 2 tackles.
There's a flag, so probably holding on Inkster. So this is probably coming back as Martin picks up the first down. But judging by where that flag was thrown, this one's probably coming back.
Yep.
And that's going to be against Inkster. So
I think what's happening now, even with that last play, is that Garden City wants to strip they're standing him up, and they instead of bringing the man down, they're trying to strip the ball down, and he broke that tackle at the 7:09 mark.
So instead of a 10-yard gain, it'll be a 10-yard penalty.
Ball's going to be inside the 10. Looks like down at the 7. In case that would have been 4 yards in the backfield, so now the scoreboard says it's on the 17, but
No, it's on the 9. And they need to get to the 33.
I'll split it with you. Let's say the 8.
Whoa, yeah, because the stick isn't where the ball is. I just looked where the stick was. But the stick on the sideline is nowhere near the ball. That's 25 on the handoff. Lawson, he gets nowhere.
And they've got to go to the 33-yard line for a first down here. And they're down at around the 11.
So long way to go for Inkster as Garden City's defense has been swarming and effective here tonight in the rain.
Spread formation, deep in their own zone.
Shotgun. Quarterback. Moves under one tackler. Won't get past that one. And 55 for Garden City, Kyle Nelson with the tackle.
They're going to say he fell at the 14-yard line, picked up about 3. Nobody open.
So third down and a long way to go for the Vikings of Inkster. And we've got a timeout, it looks like, called by Inkster with 5 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in the half.
They haven't run any reverses or double reverses or anything yet. This might be a chance here where you can run a reverse, and on this field, if your momentum's going one way, you run a reverse. Something could happen as we look at Inkster's schedule.
Now, Inkster non-league this season. They'll join the Western Wayne Athletic Conference. They were orphaned, I guess, if you want to say, when the mega conference went away. You see 3 losses to begin the season for Inkster, a couple of wins against some decent teams, 28-18 over Flint Northern, and then a 51-0 shellacking of Hamtramck. And then they would travel all the way to Bay City, John Glenn, for that loss, and then took on Southfield Christian. So basically trying to, Carmen Ainsworth being in Flint also, having to piece together a schedule, being that Inkster is a non-conference, non-affiliated team this year.
Well, they took themselves, when the Mega, they didn't want to go into a conference because they wanted to pick and choose. They played some Toledo teams, and when they had the athletes, they put together a supreme schedule, but that hurt them the last 2 years.
So third down, man open on the sideline, will not make it anywhere near the first down marker, not even back to the original line of scrimmage, as again Garden City's defense not giving anything up tonight. So Inkster will have to punt here on fourth down.
And they should get some excellent field position.
So deep for Garden City will be McNeil.
McNeil standing on the 47.5, 48-yard line on Inkster's side of the 50.
Richards will punt from about the 5-yard line. This is a little tricky because in that rain, he needs to make sure he gets a clean snap and gets the ball away. Almost blocked by Garden City. Didn't get much on it. McNeil will just let it roll. It'll be down at the 47-yard line. And 1st and 10 for Garden City with 4 minutes and 33 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Now, Scott Murray, if you want to read his mind, let me tell you exactly what he's thinking. We've got 4:33. We should march down there and score if we hold on to the ball.
And that's a big if under these conditions.
Well, that's basically what has stopped Garden City today was a couple turnovers.
So 1st and 10 for the Cougars at the 46. They're staying with that tight formation. McNeil in the backfield and Jacob Little also back there. McNeil gets it. McNeil picks up the first down. He's upended by 33 Cortez Pittman.
At some point here, I'd like to just see Garden City spread them out and then with a quick hitter just burst one right up the middle here.
I just don't know if they're going to do it with the condition of that field between the hash marks.
I think you know something you haven't told us, Dan. I think you're looking for that one particular play here.
I'm looking for AstroTurf at this point to give to McNeil. McNeil with another positive yardage play. McNeil's got to be around 60 or 65 yards in this one.
So let's put the call out. Anybody with a spare $90,000 to $100,000 who wants to donate it to put AstroTurf.
For how much?
90 to 100,000.
Keep going.
Oh, we want $1 million?
It's about $500,000 for field turf these days.
Well, I thought maybe we could get some on eBay or something.
You better be careful because I think right now, exclusively Barry is wants to make sure all the fundraising goes to Lighted Field at this point. He doesn't want to share any money with anybody at this point. They are working on that field right now in this rain, by the way, trying to tear up the excavate the infield so they can put down new sod next weekend as McNeil with the ball carry there. They have the lights on at Lighted Field. They may be done for the night, but they were out there just a couple of minutes ago with a bulldozer taking out part of the infield.
Was Barry driving that bulldozer?
If you can save a buck, yes. 3rd down and 1. Quarterback keeps it. Hubbs looks for a man open. Hubbs.
He had nobody open. That was actually a dangerous pass.
Giangrande may have been the intended receiver.
It's homecoming here. Dan, you tell me there's going to be all kinds of festivities, and they're going to crown a homecoming queen.
That's
here
the plan.
In about 3 minutes to halftime. That's still on my bucket list, Dan.
To be the homecoming queen?
I've never been crowned homecoming queen.
Well, you might want to modify that. Garden City tries to push ahead. There's a flag that comes from the referee about 15 yards behind the play. Garden City got the yardage for the first down, but we'll have to see what the penalty is. I guess it's got to be holding. Oh, okay, illegal assistance, I believe, is the call there.
Well, that could have been happening most of the night because basically what's happening is Garden City's hiking the ball to the quarterback. The black shirts in front of him are pushing, and the black shirts behind him are shoving him down the field.
So the referee finally calls Garden City for it as they try to advance Hubbs over that first down marker.
They might as well just pick him up and carry him.
So 4th down again for Garden City. 4th and about 5 now.
Yeah, try it again. Dare him to throw the flag twice in a row.
To give to McNeil. If you can't get it one way, get it the other way. And McNeil is short.
That's a victory for Inkster.
McNeil got it to about the 26-yard line, but Garden City will turn it over on downs with 2:31 remaining in the first half.
Now this is the obligatory statement that the color man in most football games make in 13-0 games. You know, it's a danger letting the other team hang around, Dan, because Inkster could break 1 or 2 plays here and be right back in the game. Garden City has shown dominance, has shown that they can move the ball, but they've stopped themselves. You know, penalties and a couple turnovers. This very easily could be 27-0 or into 30-0.
Well, that illegal pushing, or whatever you want to call that call, is a strange call anyways, and it's a strange play. As Inkster now with 4 wideouts. The quarterback keeps it for himself and picks up a couple.
I don't think Inkster's going to do anything on the ground. I think they need to throw the ball down the field, see if they can get the only place where they get one-on-one situations on the wideouts. And if they can get a one-on-one situation and break a tackle, they're going to have a big gainer. The other thing is pass interference. They've gotten 1 call tonight.
So Garden City will call a timeout. 2nd down and 9 for Inkster. Garden City wants to see if they can get this one more time before halftime and try to punch it in.
So are you the master of ceremonies again on halftime here, Dan?
Do you see me scrambling, looking for the homecoming queen's name through all of my stuff?
Oh, you already know?
Not if I don't find it.
Ladies, we might not have a homecoming queen this year.
It may be you, Ted. Your dream may come true. Your bucket list may be full, baby.
Well, I'm always there if you need me.
I think that's Mike Roffey down there. He and Mark, his twin brother, both coaches on this team, but when they're soaking wet, you can't tell them apart.
Have you found it?
I found something here.
Something.
I'll go with this. I think I'm missing the float competition. It was on loose leaf paper all stapled together.
Yeah, they'll never ask. They'll forget. They'll never.
I sure as heck hope so. 2nd down for the Vikings. New quarterback, that's Butler.
Now, he was the young man that spent the whole pre-game passing.
And there's going to be probably another holding call on Inkster as this ends up to be a loss, so Garden City may decline this. But judging by the position of the flag, you assume it's holding, as the conditions are not improving here at Garden City.
No, I don't believe you until I hear it from Tom.
Why isn't he standing out in the rain, by the way?
Because he's a weatherman.
Cantori would be out there.
Everything weathermen do is fake.
Wow. Wow, I believe the gauntlet has just been thrown down, Tom.
Am I not right? Don't they point to a blank wall?
Not Tom. He stands out there in the elements.
Okay. You're brave, Tom.
So 3rd down, they'll take the penalty. 3rd down and 11, and it looks like Garden City's going to call another timeout.
Well,
I assume it was Garden City.
They got a $1:57 on the clock, and Scott Murray wants another score before the halftime here.
I'm sure he's not happy that they only have a 13-point lead, but I also am pretty sure he understands that the conditions here have deteriorated considerably since we got started. Dan York with Ted Forner on a rainy night in Garden City. My thanks again to Harold Larson and Brett George and Rob Rancourt for braving the elements, and my thanks to the New York Yankees for laying down and playing dead last night, because otherwise we wouldn't have had Rancourt on camera too.
Was he on the field last night?
Yes, he was. And also my thanks to Christian Gibbons and Jason Merrow and Jared Seguin in the truck tonight, along with Cole Avis, a legacy. Mike Avis's son, who worked for us back in the 80s and 90s.
This is a big play. If they can stop them right here, they'll get the ball back, and then they'll have a minute 30 to try to make something happen.
So Butler at quarterback takes the snap around his ankles. He airs it out. He's got a man open, and it's knocked down by the Cougars. 22 there for Garden City. That's Tyler Wilson.
One thing this wet field's doing, it's not allowing the speed players for Inkster to get separation from the defenders.
They've got another flag at about the 41-yard line. But the homecoming court is thrilled about this.
Yeah, they all got a couple $100 invested in the dress, $75 in the hairdo.
Legal man downfield for Inkster.
$30 or $40 in the manicure and the pedicure.
Thank you, Jan. Ted's wife bringing us some water. You just wanted to get out of the rain, didn't you?
By the way, Dan, she doesn't know about my bucket list. So.
Oh, okay. I won't repeat it. You see my shirt, Jan? Got my West hoodie on tonight. It's my homecoming too, right?
Do we have any West cheerleaders down there?
No, they'd break a hip. So 4th down. McNeil is deep. Do you like that, Ted? I think I lost Ted. he looks in pain. So Inkster set up for the punt formation. 1:50 remaining in the half. There's a lob which gives Garden City plenty of time to get in there. That lob snap resulted in a block, and there for Garden City was Jay Shepard. So it works for Scott Murray. Garden City will get great field position. That ball just took forever to get to the punter.
It took forever to get there, and he was very deliberate. Remember, that footing is bad, and you're moving on wet footing, so you're deliberate, and it's a split-second difference between a block and a good punt. And Garden City has great chances here with 1:43 to put a safety score up here. Get some space between these two teams.
Headed for the end zone, Brown Bako there, Brown Bako! Incomplete.
Here's the block. I think we're going to see our crack staff has got it in the truck.
Now this is about real time as far as how long it took for the ball to get from the center to the punter. And there you see Shepard right there. Boy, and he just held right onto it too.
Well,
he never lost possession of it.
That's another instance of Garden City's line just collapsing the Inkster line.
Here's Giangrande. Giangrande over the 15. Over the 10, Giangrande to about the 11-yard line.
Plenty of time as that ball goes out of bounds. I said his knee hit before he went out of bounds, and the clock is still running here. Let's see if they hurry up. They have plenty of time to put this in the end zone.
1 minute, 11 seconds, clock running. Give to McNeil, and Inkster for only the second time today finds an answer for McNeil.
Timeout.
And it's number 8, Rayfield Jones.
59-1 on the clock. Garden City calls timeout. And that should be their last one, Dan. I think
it is their last timeout.
They've taken 3.
So plenty of time to score, but obviously they need either a first down or to put it in the end zone here. A first down is about the 7 or 8 yard line.
And the only people upset about the timeout are the fathers of the homecoming court, because they got their Sunday suits on and they're getting sopping wet out there. Well, here's what Scott Murray's got to do. He's got to go in that huddle and call 2 plays. And say, okay, if this one doesn't work, you get right back to the line.
Well, it's 4th down, though. So
is it?
Yeah, it's 4th down. So this is kind of an all or nothing right here.
Well, you're assuming he's going to get the first down.
So Cameron Daniel on the other side, Brown Bako on this side, McNeil in the backfield. Hubbs is your quarterback, and Inkster will call timeout. And I don't think that really hurts Garden City's feelings any.
No, but it's making the fathers of the homecoming court even madder.
The rain has lessened ever so slightly, but boy, those shoes in this mud, that's going to be a treat.
Yeah, I forgot about the $75 to $100 per pair of shoes out there.
At least. I think this would have warranted a trip to Payless tonight. Some cardboard shoes for everybody.
Well, you know what, Dan, in all defense of the Garden City's field here, there have been years that this field would be in a quagmire by now in the rain, but this field is actually in very good shape for the 9th week of football and all the soccer games that are on it.
And Little League.
And Little League football and all the activity this field sees. This is in really, really good shape.
So here we go. 4th down. Same wideouts. Hubbs loses the ball. Hubbs falls on it. It's still loose. Inkster picks it up. It's still loose again. But it won't matter.
Well,
as Inkster will cover it, that's James Johnson with 49.5 seconds left.
That's why this second half, stay tuned, by the way, to the second half. But this second half is going to be exciting because as this field gets wetter and that ball gets wetter and the uniforms get wetter, almost anything can happen on every play.
So you're saying it's going to get wetter?
Well, I don't know. I haven't heard the halftime forecast from Doppler Tom.
Now you see Garden City with 3 men back on defense in a complete prevent.
Well, they got trips to the other side, one receiver to the near side.
Only 3 on the line. That one is complete to Lewis, and Lewis picks up a first down.
And Garden City had nobody down. They had all 11 guys standing up, and this is razzle-dazzle football. This is the fun game you play in the rain.
40 seconds remaining in the half. Inkster with 1 timeout remaining. Garden City spreading it out, trying to get 3 up to the line of scrimmage. Butler at quarterback. Dumps it off this side to Lawson. Lawson is tackled at midfield, and this will probably require Inkster to use their last timeout.
Very interesting play there as they had a little dump pass to the halfback, and you immediately saw the Garden City linebackers who had lined up 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage all just come in mass, and a very good coverage on that play.
So Inkster will use their last timeout. Second and 4 for the Vikings.
Room 222 on the clock.
22.2 seconds remaining. So Inkster trying to salvage this first half. Garden City trying to keep them off the scoreboard here.
Inkster could get 2 or 3 shots at this. Send them deep. See if you can draw an interference call and pick up 15 yards here, and then you can throw it in the end zone a couple times.
So 2nd down and 4. Garden City will throw an extra man up. No, they won't. They'll still stay with the 3 up on the line. Butler in at quarterback. And his snap gets past him, and Butler will have to down it at the 36-yard line. We've got a flag on the play right at the line of scrimmage. And Garden City probably would have preferred, even if this is against Inkster, would have preferred to have no penalty there because Inkster couldn't stop the clock again.
Right.
Well, don't forget, stick around at halftime. We'll have the crowning of the homecoming queen. No flag, the official calls.
They could just wrap the clock here right now, can't they?
I think once they line the ball up and spot it, I think they will start the clock with no flag.
I'm tired.
So enough to get 1 play off. Garden City with that same defensive formation. Clock is running. Butler takes a look behind him to see. Butler will just air it out and see what happens. And that one hits the ground with 1.6 seconds remaining.
Garden City had 3 down linemen and then blitzed a couple.
So Inkster with a time for 1 more play. So 4th down and about 17 for Inkster. Butler takes the snap, and it's going to be intercepted. Fumble on the play and recovered by Garden City. That was Eric Braun who intercepted it. He fumbled it, and that's how the first half will end with our score. Garden City 13, Inkster nothing. We'll be back with the crowning of the homecoming queen right after you watch this. This is Omnidition Sports. You're watching GCTV.
KFC in Garden City is a sponsor of Omnidition Sports and GCTV, and one of the providers of food services for the crew and volunteers for tonight's game. Garden City's KFC is located on Ford and Harrison and is owned by Garden City residents Dan and Paul Bogowski. Featuring all of the Colonel's great menu items, including original recipe, extra crispy, and grilled chicken, crispy strips, sandwiches, chicken pot pie, those famous sides, and more. So stop by Garden City's KFC on the corner of Ford and Harrison and tell them that you heard about them on Omnidition Sports.
So take these words and sing out loud, 'cause everyone is forgiven now, 'cause tonight's the night the world begins again.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet your 2012-2013 Garden City High School homecoming court. First off is Taylor Ball, escorted by her father, Gary, and Jake Berger. Taylor has been involved in DECA, Student Council, varsity cheerleading, yearbook, and competitive dance. Taylor currently holds a 3.1 GPA and plans on attending Grand Valley State University to pursue a career in radiology and imaging sciences. After graduation, she'll miss laughing with her friends, football games, and pep assemblies the most. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Taylor Ball. And now next is Dakota Bruner, escorted by her father, Jeff, and Tomas McNeil. Dakota has participated in cheerleading all 4 years here at Garden City High School. She holds a 3.0 GPA. Next year, she plans on attending the Art Institute of Michigan. Her favorite part of high school and Garden City as a community is the hometown spirit we all carry on every day. Ladies and gentlemen, Dakota Bruner. Next up, Ashley Moyers. Ashley's escorted by her father, Rob, and her best friend, Tyler Glenfield. Ashley is on varsity pom-pom and holds a grade point average of 3.3. After high school, Ashley plans on attending Central Michigan University, where she's going to pursue her dreams in broadcasting. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Ashley Moyers. Next up, Elena Vandervoort. She's escorted by Jake Van Owen and her father, Tom. Elena has a GPA of 3.6 and is planning on attending the College for Creative Studies. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Elena Vandervoort. And last but not least, Ms. Jordan Wilson. Jordan is escorted by her father, Ryan, and her boyfriend, Jared Conroy. Jordan holds a GPA of a 3.0, and she's on varsity cheer and tennis. Jordan plans on attending Central Michigan University to pursue a career of forensic science. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Jordan Wilson. Now returning to crown our queen this year is Ms. Becky Beveridge, last year's homecoming queen. She's escorted by Garrett Arbin, and she's currently attending Schoolcraft College. Ladies and gentlemen, Becky Beveridge. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your 2012-2013 Garden City High School homecoming queen is Ms. Ashley Moyers. Let's hear a big hand for Ashley Moyers and her court. So congratulations to Ashley Moyers and the entire homecoming court here at Garden City High School. Our score here at halftime is Garden City 13, Inkster nothing. We'll be back with the second half right after you watch this. This is Omni Edition Sports. You're watching GCTV.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles. Everybody bring it in.
I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out.
How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork?
I help keep kids in school,
Good.
and that's the name of the game.
My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
Lona's Pizza in Dearborn Heights is a sponsor of Omnidition Sports and GCTV, and one of the providers of food services for the crew and volunteers for tonight's game. Located on Beachdale and Ford Road, Lona's is owned by Garden City's own Bob Oliverio and the Oliverio family. With the best pizza in Metro Detroit, Lona's delivers to all of Garden City. Round, square, or pan pizza, Lona's is the place. They also carry great subs, salads, and wings. Give them a call at 313-274-0100. That's 313-274-0100. Lona's Pizza.
So take these words and sing out loud, 'cause everyone is forgiven now, 'cause tonight's the night the world begins again.
Second half action here at Garden City High School as the Cougars lead Inkster by a score of 13-0. And for Tomas McNeil, 16 carries and 77 yards as he tries to head towards that 1,000-yard mark. He started the night with 852 yards, so he'll need about the same performance in the second half, Ted Fournier. But an interesting first half. Garden City came out guns a-blazing, but then it looks like the weather might have started to slow them down.
Garden City has basically had their way. They've stopped themselves on a couple turnovers and a penalty or two. But basically, they have shoved Inkster up and down the field. Inkster has had no success offensively running the ball and very little success passing the ball. They've tried running formations. They've tried the Wildcat formation. Garden City has snuffed them out. And basically, this whole game comes down to Doppler Tom making the field wet.
All right, and let's throw it down to Doppler Tom down by the north 20-yard line. And Tom, the rain seems to have lessened at least a little bit as we begin the second half.
Yeah, that first half was really rainy, and the rain was even heavy at times. But you did mention the rain has lightened up a bit, and I've been looking at the radar, and it looks like it will probably start lightening up even more as we head toward the end of the game. So that's some good news. And the field, as you said, it's very wet, it's very muddy, and it's very slick. So they're going to have some problems out there. But all the fans need to keep the umbrellas handy because it's definitely going to be a rainy night.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to put them away and maybe lightening up a little bit. But speaking of lightening up, is there much of a chance of lightning today?
Absolutely not. This is just a cold rain.
All right, very good. And Doppler Tom, your website for folks that want to check the weather in Garden City, get those accurate stats from the weather station right here at your house and other information. Where do they go for that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just DopplerTomsWeather.com.
All right, Doppler Tom, we want to thank you for being with us tonight and our other games earlier this year, and we'll see you at the Santaland Parade.
Absolutely. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
All right, Tom Iwinski, a new part of the Omnidition Sports team down on the side of the field near the track, reporting on our deteriorating field conditions, even if the rain is lessening, but it is certainly not stopping.
Garden City's going to get the ball to start the second half, and let's see if they can do something with it. If I was Inkster, Squib it and see who gets the ball. Let's make this a fun second half.
Inkster 14 carries for only 16 yards in the first half. Garden City 25 carries for 144 yards. Passing, Inkster 6 for 12 for 51 yards, so they've had a little success for there. Garden City 0 for 3 passing.
Garden City has most of their players, 9 of them, up within 10 yards of the 50-yard line here as Inkster spreads out.
So Brown Baker will be deep for Garden City along with McNeil. It looks like Terrence Carter. Nope, it's going to be Seven Richards kicking off for the Vikings. A bouncer that Brown Baker has trouble with, but he falls on it right over the 25-yard line at about the 26-yard line. So Garden City will have it 1st and 10 from their own 26.
Every play an adventure as Garden City's getting the ball. Let's see if they go back to their real tight veer formation and just try to run it in between the tackles. They got called once for aiding the ball runner, but they could have been called a few times.
Now this is what I thought they might do. This patch of grass is in a little better shape. The south side of the field is in better shape than the north side of the field. They do go back to their spread. I don't know if that's the reason. Hubbs with the give to McNeil, and McNeil will fight his way over the 30 to about the 31-yard line, gain of about 5, 2nd down and 5. I don't know if that's the reason, but there is definitely a distinct difference in quality of the field between the north and the south.
I think if you came to most of the practices, if you come up here to soccer and football practices, they're all down here on the north end.
Well, Garden City definitely tries to use that football field behind here and not practice much on this field. McNeil with pressure, but McNeil picks up the 1st down. Tomas McNeil up to the 40-yard line and gives Garden City that 1st down. McNeil, a senior, he was part of the homecoming festivities, and congratulations to the homecoming court here at Garden City High School, especially to Ashley Moyer. She is the homecoming queen for 2012-2013. It's nice of the dads to hold the umbrellas as the girls came out. Dad finally served a purpose. There's the give to Gian Grande. Gian Grande fights his way back to the line of scrimmage. There's a flag on the play that came from the back judge. Let's see if we can see the penalty there. Holding is the call against Garden City. I don't know. I didn't
Might have been
catch it.
72 pancaking his man down there and holding him down on the ground.
That's against the rules?
I'm not sure. I got a rule book sitting in my living room that's holding my end table up.
So we've lost the alumni cheerleaders. They wised up.
Well,
we've lost about half of our crowd, but most of them are in the north concourse area as Gian Grande tries to cut around the the left end. Does not get back to the original line of scrimmage.
The way these two teams are playing, this game could just go between the 30s here for the rest of the night as the field's getting slippier.
What is it getting?
It's getting really
wetter.
where you fall down, where your feet go underneath.
Wetterer.
Wetter, slipperier. It's getting like wax paper.
And Garden City runs that play again where they just bull forward. They won't pick up a 1st down. They'll only get past the original line of scrimmage.
If you've ever been up at 3 o'clock in the morning watching Australian rules rugby, that's basically what's going on here. You know what? That's a safe play, Dan. If you can pick up 5 and 6 yards on a field like this, you don't risk moving the ball around. You don't miss handing it off, and you just grab the ball and go forward.
3rd down and 9. Hubbs looks for Gian Grande. It's on the field. Inkster picks it up. And that's a break Garden City was hoping wouldn't happen as Richards picks up the fumble, and talk about a rugby scrum.
That's exactly what's going on. They're basically
play is getting a little chippy here, but this is really smash mouth football.
That pile moved 5 yards. Look at that. See? Australian rules.
Wow.
And that's not the first time that's happened tonight, Dan. We've seen that 6-7 times.
So a bad break for Garden City as they cough it up deep in their own zone. 26-yard line is where the ball is spotted, and as you said, 13-0. You wanted to go into halftime with a little bigger lead than that.
This game should be far. It should be 30-0, but Inkster is hanging around, and if the guy with the ball breaks out of that pack, he scores. And it's, you know.
So an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, I believe, against Inkster on James Johnson, I think.
Well, like you said, these guys live a mile and a half apart. They don't face each other a lot in sports. This is going to be a beginning of a rivalry.
You know what? I don't want to hang that on them. It was too many men in the huddle.
Yeah,
I don't want to hang that on them when it wasn't what happened. 5 wideouts for Inkster on this play.
It's a naked back.
4 on the east end. Richards back under center. Throws it the other way, and it is loose. It was intended for Lewis. Incomplete.
That is a dangerous play because the corner for Garden City just stepped in across the line of scrimmage. Luckily, it was over his head, or he'd be running the other way.
So 2nd down and 15 now for the Vikings.
These are fun plays to draw up, but they're hard to execute.
So how'd they just lose 5 yards on an incomplete pass? Second down and 21 for Inkster. Not sure what happened there.
Vikings call timeout.
Well,
Inkster calls timeout.
To be honest with you, Dan, I think what they called there was no penalty. The quarterback was right up on the line of scrimmage. He stood up and he threw it backwards. And so wherever that ball hit backwards, that's where it became a recovered fumble, a recovered lateral.
And it scooted out of bounds.
Yeah, and it went backwards, and that's how you lost the yardage.
Oh, this is sad. We're showing the helmet deflating. That's just sad. The last game of the season here at Garden City High School, so these seniors definitely want a W when they leave this field tonight. That would give them a 5-4 record in consecutive 500 seasons for Garden City High School,
which is always good. A lot of seniors tonight playing their last game. The district start this Sunday. You watch at 6 o'clock, 6:30. You'll see the district pairings, or the pre-district pairings.
Garden City not likely to be a part of that this year. Richards under center. Richards kind of throws up a punt and intercepted by Spears. And Spears is up over midfield to the 45-yard line. Sheldon Spears, as Richards just threw it up for grabs.
Not a beautiful pass, no separation, and you'll see this. It's a wounded duck.
Like I said, you may as well have punted it there.
He threw that into double coverage.
And Spears with a great return after the interception. So Garden City back in business on the Inkster 44. Garden City will go to 4 wideouts now, Ted.
I think they'll score off of this kind of formation.
So Hubbs takes the snap and he powers ahead for about 4. I think the referees are going to have to be a little quicker on the whistle as the forward progress stops. Otherwise, we're going to have a little trouble here.
Well, the good thing about the spread formation, it takes 4 Inkster players out of the scrum and 4 Garden City players, so there's 8 less players in the middle of the field.
So this will bring up a 2nd down and a long 6, short 7 for Garden City. They'll go back to that tight formation now as they mix it up. As Hubbs, the sophomore, goes under center. Give to McNeil. And Inkster there this time to meet him.
When they get in that tight formation, there's literally 23 people in the box. 21 people in the box.
Jones with the tackle. 3rd down.
You sound more like Ed McMahon every week.
Then I kind of digress to Santa Claus. Hey, the parade's coming up, Ted.
I'm trying to figure a way to get in the parade. It's been a while.
Just enter.
And now
it's not that tricky. There's the pitch to McNeil, and Inkster now keying on him. That may not be the answer for the next couple of plays. 4th down. Why don't you put the girls' basketball team in the play?
Well, I was thinking of just walking myself, and I was listening to, Susan. Is she going to help you again this year?
Yeah, if she answers my calls.
I can hear Susan, and there goes Ted Fournier walking down.
That's all you need.
He lives at 31 Forest.
Yeah, if you'd be the homecoming queen, Ted, you'd automatically be in it. Under 7 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter. 5 yards to go for Garden City for a 1st down. The give is to Giangrande. Giangrande trying to look for some help. Giangrande just fell down at around the 44-yard line, and Garden City will turn it over on downs. Hey, look, we were talking about the parade, and there it is, coming up on November, actually 24th, Gibby, at 10 o'clock.
That's a Monday. I'll be working.
That's last year's graphic.
I'll be working on the 26th.
It runs on the Middle Belt Road. Visit our website for accurate information, which is santalandparade.com, santalandparade.com. By the time you see this, the new rock and roll Christmas Santaland hoodies will be available at Maplewood Community Center and at the DDA offices and in corporate marketing located on Middle Belt Road right across the street from Garden City High School. He was so proud of himself that he came up with that, and it turns out it's last year's. Oh, well. There's a loose ball picked up again by Richards. Richards, what the heck is he doing? They called it an incomplete pass. It was a shovel pass, I guess.
Dan, the rest of this game, you're going to be inventing things. Watch.
Let's hear the circus music now. So there's the fumble. The quarterback picks it back up in pursuit. Bang! Off the helmet. And apparently that counted as a incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass, and he saved some yardage. Folks, we'd start using our film material, but we used it in the first half.
I have no explanation. I have no explanation, and where's the ball? There it is, at the 44-yard line. Butler back at quarterback again for Inkster. Butler, the left-hander, and it's intercepted.
It was like a jump pass.
Intercepted by Wilson. Tyler Wilson there, and Garden City will get it back right about midfield.
It looks like he did a little jump pass here at the end. Oh, he got off his feet a little.
And Inkster's receiver had already gone down at that point. So 1st and 10 for Garden City at the 49. Go ahead.
Garden City's got to put the last 3 offensive plays were nothing. It's like they're getting complacent here. They're not firing off their blocks.
And there's that quarterback keeper again. And, you can pretty much call that assisting the runner or pushing the runner ahead call every time Garden City does that if you wanted to.
I really don't know what the criteria is because basically we've described it to you. The front 5 is pushing forward and the 2 wings are falling behind the quarterback, and it's like the victory formation in motion, you know. I mean, how else?
Second down and 5. I like that. There's the give. Giangrande fights his way ahead for a first down. So Wyatt Giangrande, the senior, who had 201 yards rushing coming into this one, adds to that total. 2 touchdowns in this game, both scored by McNeil and both scored in the first quarter.
It's been a fairly benign game since the first quarter. Just a lot of unique plays, and like you said, we needed some circus music.
There's to give to Giangrande. Giangrande with some fresh legs up over the 35. Still on his feet to the 30, and the referees do the right thing there and call that dead as forward progress comes to an end.
Inkster is standing them up, and they're trying to strip.
So there you see Giangrande finds the hole, closes up.
See, they're trying to strip the ball from him. Instead of tackling, they're standing him up, and the second man in's trying to strip. They've had some success on a couple of occasions doing that, and then they're trying to do that on every play.
So second down and 1 now for Garden City. We're in the third quarter here at Garden City High School. The give to the second man through, who's battling his way ahead. That's Jacob Little. See if they give him the first down. Not a good spot. Third down and less than a yard now.
Cheerleaders are still
battling.
Enthusiastic. But their numbers have dwindled.
Yes, those who could have left. There's to give to McNeil, and McNeil will get that first down up over the 25-yard line. That's just power right there.
This is a nice drive. After the last possession, Garden City was 3 and out with losing yards on 3 consecutive plays. Positive yardage on each play here.
So 1st and 10 on the 24. McNeil just gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Thomas McNeil with the carry, 52, Trayvon Dilby with the stop.
.336 on the clock, 13-0 Garden City. Homecoming, third quarter.
Loose ball. And it looks like the big fella, number 69, Whitehouse, came up with it.
They've been running to the left almost exclusively here, Dan. Let's see if they try the right side.
Loss of 2 yards. 3rd and 12 now for Garden City.
3rd and 12, they are in 4-down territory, though.
There's to give to McNeil. Check that, that was Jacob Little. So 4th down and about 4 for Garden City. They need to get to the 15 for that first down. The ball spotted at the 19. McNeil in the backfield. The give to McNeil. Tomas finds a hole. Tomas headed for the end zone. Touchdown! Tomas McNeil from the 19-yard line. A touchdown, Garden City.
At the 2-minute mark, 19-yard touchdown puts him over 100 yards for the night, somewhere in the neighborhood of 111 or 112 yards. And That's his third touchdown, and actually that's the first play Garden City has cleanly broken through. Even on a 30-yard run earlier, McNeil ran with the tackle, just shoving him down, but he broke through cleanly and scored.
So a flag on the play, too many men on the field for Garden City.
For the extra point?
That's correct. So they'll move it back 5 yards. If you're going to do that, that's the time to do it.
That'll probably, are they going to move him back here? Or
yeah, they're going to move him back here. Better count them again because a lot went in and a lot just came out there.
19-0.
So Bogowski will attempt the point after. He'll kick from the 15.
Looks good.
And the member of the soccer team puts it through, and it's 20-0.
Now, I'm asking this question out of total ignorance. Here's the touchdown, and McNeil broke clean. That's the first time, and he's got his little. They look a little like Prince Fielder doing his last out call dance there. I want to picture that though.
But what's the question, Ted?
Yeah, Mr. Bogowski, is he part of the Kentucky Fried Chicken family?
No.
No,
that's
no.
not.
Isn't it Bogowski?
No, that's oh gosh. Yeah, that's Bogowski. But no, I don't know now. I don't know. Here you see Harold. He's been up there all night long in that lift with Old Glory right behind him. Our thanks to him.
Harold likes it up there. None of the bill collectors can find him up there. Here comes the one of the unique kickoff formations.
Lewis and Lawson deep. They fake the onside kick it deep. Lawson takes it. There may be a clip. There is, or a legal block in the back. So this one's coming way back. So Lawson will be tackled right around the 28-yard line, but that's coming back at least 15 from there.
Well, what Lawson did wrong is you'll see him catch it clean, but he heads towards Inkster Road instead of Ford.
And there you saw the result of the illegal block in the back as Paul Caruso got leveled.
1:47 on the clock, and this one's going to be marched back, which will be a break for Garden City. As if they can hold it here, they'll get the ball on the Inkster side of the 50 again.
So illegal block in the back was the call. So that'll get spotted at the 9-yard line. So Garden City, with 1:47 remaining in the quarter, may look to pressure here. But a timeout called by the Inkster Vikings. They only have one remaining. As you see Brett George up on the scaffolding there about the 10-yard line. Our thanks to him. Brett's been here almost as long as Harold.
But he started a little younger than Harold.
A little bit. Rob Rancor on top of the press box, and at least he's got a little shelter up there. Rob was on the field last night at Comerica Park.
You put the pro upstairs.
Harold likes the lift.
Oh. Now, did he happen to pick up a Tiger hat or a shirt or something on the field there as he was shooting?
I don't know. I know he took some pictures with himself. We saw those on Facebook. Speaking of Facebook, you know, you can like the City of Garden City, Michigan on Facebook. Lots of information about city activities between that and Nixle and GCTV. And the Garden City website, www.gardencitymi.org. You can be up to date on pretty much everything going on in Garden City. As on the carry there was a fumble, it looks like. Let's see. 55 was there for Garden City, I believe. Cougars ball!
Well, now the great field position. First and goal.
It was Zach Lawburns that I think came up with a fumble. I thought it was Kyle Nelson that made the original hit. So with 1:28 remaining, Inkster coughs it up. It was Lawburns that recovered the fumble. So it'll be a 1st and 10 because the ball is just outside the 10-yard line. So Inkster coughs it up deep in their own territory. And there's the give to Little. Little battling his way towards the end zone. Little still on his feet. Little scores. So Jacob Little, number 16 on the carry. That's student body right. Touchdown, Garden City.
Nothing fancy about that. One little handoff. And power football as the offensive line pushes the Inkster line into the end zone. The tailback follows them in.
So Little on the 10-yard carry, and this can make it 27-0. Bogowski to attempt the point after. And there's a flag on the play as you hear Scott Murray yell, hey, they can't do that. The point after attempt was no good, but I think they'll be taking it again. And a personal foul against Inkster.
.119 on the clock here as we're going to get lined up and straighten this out.
I think they're going to go for the 2-point conversion now.
They might as well.
They see Bogowski coming off the field. The ball will be at the 1, I guess.
I just wonder, Dan, could you call this play? The only thing, I would just run it up the gut, except that they might want to get somebody else to score. Gian Grande's in there. He's had a nice
It's either
night.
going to be Hubbs or McNeil. I think it's going to be a power forward, and it is, and it's Hubbs. And Hubbs is into the end zone, so the 2-point conversion attempt is good. That'll make it 28-0.
Here's the
Let's see the touchdown.
Hand it off and just watch the push. Watch the push. Every Cougar on the field was in the end zone.
Little did a lot of that himself.
Well,
as the rain continues to fall.
It's 1:19 of the third, and both teams are sopping wet out there thanks to Doppler Tom. And
you understand the weather people don't make the weather.
They
just predict it.
That's not Tom. I had a little talk with him a couple weeks ago, and he told me that he was in charge of Garden City weather. A little known fact, if you go on Tom's website, and
DopplerTomsWeather.com,
and you go on that site, and if you predict the weather better than Tom for that day, you can get a Doppler Tom t-shirt to wear.
Oh my God, don't start that. Don't start that. Lewis and Lawson deep. Bukowski kicking off.
I figure by the end of Christmas, everybody in Garden City will have one.
Poor guy's going to have to move. There's a whistle. Why are you picking on Tom, man?
I just like the guy.
I hate to see what you do to people you don't like.
I think the Christmas gift that will be everybody will be wanting that in Garden City is a Doppler Tom t-shirt.
So I guess this was offside on Garden City. It is. So they'll move it back to the 35, which is probably where they should be kicking off from anyways. Where do they kick off now in the NFL? From like the 50? I mean, criminy. There are no returns anymore on a kickoff.
It was funny. About 10 years ago, Hansen couldn't reach the end zone, and now he's reaching it. That guy's getting better as he gets older.
Just put the ball in the 20 and don't even kick it anymore. Here's a loose ball. Six picks it up. That's Lewis. And Lewis runs square into Sheldon Spears.
Everything's been gang tackle tonight.
Garden City has played an extraordinary game on defense.
Really, watch the replay here, Dan.
So Six takes it right here. Try to get some momentum, and Spears, bam, right there.
And you notice there's about 6 or 7 shirts there.
And they're not Doppler Tom shirts. So 1st and 10 at the 15.
You like that idea.
Oh, jeez.
Can you see holding a microphone with a big smile?
Well, do you remember Kramus when we had the Up Your Alley, and he had the T-shirts he gave away, which was him with his arm around a bowling pin because they were both the same height. So we get something like that for Doppler Tom. And you know who produced those shirts?
No.
Jim Neve's dad.
Really?
In corporate marketing. There's a big tackle for Garden City for a loss. Tommy Vincent in there first for the Cougars.
And we are still in the third quarter. It's 28-0. The Cougars are threatening to score by shoving the Inkster offense into the end zone.
So loss of about 5 yards on that one. 2nd down and 15. 42 seconds remaining in the quarter. And props to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Inkster fans in the stands tonight who sat through this monsoon. This is Butler at quarterback, the left-hander. Butler's pass is complete to 82, Juan Wise, but he won't get much.
Most of their passes have been just the dink and dunk variety, really nothing downfield except for the first pass for a first down early in the first quarter.
There you see the small gathering on the. I swear it rained harder when Todd shot the gun.
Well, you know what? When they saw the picture of the stands, a lot of the Inkster people could have come, disguised as bleachers. It's October.
So 12 minutes of football remaining. The Cougars lead it by a score of 28-0. 3 touchdowns for McNeil and 1 for Jacob Little.
Where can you get some T-shirts?
Hey, let's listen.
Incorporate Marketing is the official apparel provider of Omnidition Sports and GCTV. Located on Middle Belt Road just across from Garden City High School, Incorporate carries an incredible variety of Garden City Cougar apparel and swag. They also feature Garden City East and West gear and are your source for silk screening and embroidery. Owned by third-generation Garden City resident Jim Neve, Incorporate can help you design the perfect look for your company or event. Visit their website at incorporategraphics.com.
28-0, Garden City on top, and our thanks to Jim Neve and everybody at Incorporate. They provided us with OETV jerseys for our crew just recently. They gave away 300 blackout T-shirts here today.
I hope he's working on our basketball coaches shirts. We need them by November 27th.
3rd down and 13, and Garden City right on top of the Vikings. That was, I think, 33 Cody Johnson that reached right over the pile. Just knocked it to the ground.
It looks like...
I think this is Johnson. Watch this. He just reached over and slapped the ball out of the quarterback's hand.
Well, we had a little how you doing, welcome, little shoves there, but that's...
So 4th down and a country mile for Inkster. They'll punt this one away. McNeil deep.
McNeil's actually standing on the campus at Inkster High School to kick this one out.
And Inkster is going to call their last time out.
Last
With
time,
Richard standing right on the back line of the end zone.
He's got to be careful. If he touches that chalk, it's a safety. I saw... yeah, we'll see the schedule here.
Now this is how it's been for Garden City High School this season. A opening night win here at Garden City High School against Detroit Western International. Then a 21-12 loss to Etzel. Big win at RU, 49-28. Then a win here at home, 21-20. game versus Thurston that they lost 40-21 here at home. That Annapolis forfeit, lost at Robichaud in the game that they were a play or two from winning, was that Belleville game that would have helped them to get into the playoffs. Now those games that are indicated with the GCTV logo, you can find those games on YouTube. Go to GCTV videos. That's GCTV videos, and find all of the content that we have on GCTV, at least most of it. And especially you'll find those Cougar football games along with GCYA football and Garden City Cougar soccer. So Richards in the end zone, will punt it away. Gets a good snap. Garden City rushes him, and it was Johnson that tried for the block. Unsuccessful. McNeil says the heck with it. And it'll be down at around the 38-yard line.
Nice punt. Got it out there as far as you would expect him to. $10:52 left on the clock. Two of the games that I think the Cougars could look back at and say, woulda, shoulda, coulda. I thought the Edsel Ford game, which was a 21-12 or 2012 game, was very winnable. And then that Belleville game, either one of those or both of them, and the Cougars would be in the playoffs.
McNeil with the carry. Yeah, obviously, Coach Murray and his Cougars hoping for consecutive trips to the playoffs. But I think they'll take a 5-4 season.
I think when they started the season, they were thinking playoffs and they were thinking home playoff game too. Their expectations were extremely high. I know they worked really hard on the off season and workouts during the winter and weight room workouts, and all the coaches were involved. And I think basically this is a disappointment because there was talk that not only are we going to make the playoffs this time, we're going to win a home game and go in deeper into the playoffs.
Official timeout as a player from the Vikings is down. Gian Grande gained a couple of yards on that one, but it was as he was trying to turn the corner to his right, you could tell that the footing was an issue. He was trying to find the footing as he made the cut there. So we mentioned it before. You can watch GCTV anytime, anywhere. We're streamed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on Ustream. You can watch most of our content on YouTube. And then you can watch the Ustream feed as well as the YouTube feed, either on your Apple phone, your iPhone, or if you're one of the 17 people in America with a Windows phone, you could go to their app store too, but go to www.gardencitymi.org/GCTV for all of those links and for that live 24/7 stream of GCTV. So basically, you just can't get away from us.
What's next, Dan?
We're going to come to your house and do puppet shows. 3rd down and 5.
That's on my bucket list too. That's on my bucket list too.
I know there are some people in town that would prefer we came to their house and did puppet shows rather than try to get them to look at the internet. So 3rd down. Hubbs under center. Gives to McNeil. McNeil tried to battle his way ahead. There's a flag on the play. McNeil still on his feet. This will be interesting. McNeil headed for the end zone, but there was a flag in the backfield. So let's see, because I don't think there was anybody from Garden City there, so I'm not sure it was a holding call. But it is a holding call. I'd like to see that one again because I didn't see anybody with McNeil. So here's McNeil. He gets loose. He gets loose. You know, the hold had to have been 15 feet from the play then, if that was the call, because McNeil did all that on his own.
You know, Dan, I don't think we've ever done a game where there's been so many long plays. What I mean by standing up and breaking for a couple more runs, standing up and breaking. And it's because both teams are trying to stand up the ball carrier and strip them. You know, and we have seen plays that have lasted 6, 7, 8 seconds longer than they should have lasted.
So third down, we'll call it 12. The penalty was almost near the first down line. And it's a fake. Pass to McNeil, but Inkster didn't bite.
Inkster did a great job of sniffing that one out and covering McNeil.
Yeah, Hubbs hit it on his hip. So another loss in fourth down for Garden City as they lead it 28-0.
I think there's more and more cars lining up out there watching this.
It looks like the Die Hard commercial with their headlights all pointed at the field. That'll help for television. So Garden City in 4-down territory will pitch it to McNeil. McNeil back to the original line of scrimmage. McNeil battling his way. McNeil may have picked up the first down. Tomas McNeil, 4th down and 14, picks up the first down for Garden City. And this was all Tomas.
Unofficially, I have Tomas for about 125 to 130 yards.
We'll have to check with John Fleming and see what he's got.
He needs 143 for 1,000.
This is Giangrande on the left side. Giangrande over the first down line. Giangrande over the 10-yard line. So Giangrande picks up the first down. And it'll be 1st and goal for Garden City. So Garden City looking to put another one on the board. And if they scored this one and kicked the extra point, we'd have a running clock. So 1st and goal at the 7 for Garden City. The wideout on this side is Daniels. The give again to Giangrande. Giangrande finds an opening. Giangrande into the end zone. Touchdown. Wyatt Giangrande with his first touchdown of the evening.
Now the score is becoming indicative of the play on the field. And this has been all Garden City. And Dan, unofficially, our official scorekeeper has McNeil at 167 yards.
Well, that does it. That puts him over the 1,000-yard mark for the season.
You see how I hedged my bet there.
Unofficially.
Unofficially, the official scorekeeper.
John Fleming of Fleming Financial, keeping track of the stats. And the point after attempt is no good. So we'll stay with a stop clock, at least for now. And let's watch that touchdown by Giangrande. Nice blocking by Garden City.
Well, he's had some nice yardage on that play all night long. He's been having some gaping holes there. It's 34-0 with 8:17 on the clock as Garden City coming into this game playing for pride. And they've dominated tonight. And that score could be in the 50s and 60s right now if it wasn't for turnovers and a couple penalties, as Garden City has just dominated the offensive line and the defensive line. And Inkster has had very little success. In all reality, I can only recall one first down as a result of an offensive play. And the other first down, I think, was on a penalty. And other than that, I don't recall a first down series.
So 2 men deep for Inkster. That's Lewis and Lawson, as it has been most of the evening tonight. And Garden City leads it by a score of 34-0 here on homecoming and the final game of 2012. Again, I can't thank the volunteers enough who have come out here for this one. Spent a couple of days setting up, as we usually do, and been out in the rain and the weather all day today as Bogowski boots that one. Ed gets loose, picked up by Lawson. And Lawson is tackled at around the 27-yard line.
The special teams for Garden City, especially these kickoff teams, have put Garden City in advantageous positions all night long, starting with the opening kickoff. And as Inkster started their first offensive series on their own 7-yard line, And Garden City has been taking advantage of their kickoff advantage. And Bogolski's been doing a great job getting the ball down there.
So 8 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this one. The Cougars trying to pitch a shutout against the Inkster Vikings. Senior night, parent night, homecoming, you name it.
First down and 10 for the Inkster Vikings, ball on their own 28-yard line.
Wide out this side for Inkster is Filson. 4 wideouts for the Vikings. Quarterback keeper. Richards, short of the first down.
Nice running play. Nice design. He handed off, and you had two Inkster Vikings going in opposite direction. Ball well hidden.
So a big night for Tomas McNeil. He has 3 touchdowns. He passes the 1,000-yard mark.
Has it been a while since we've had a 1,000-yard bat? Was it Sparks?
I don't know if we've had one since Sparks or not.
That was 10, 11 years ago, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. This is Butler back into the backfield as the quarterback. Butler with the keeper. Butler picks up the first down. There's a flag on the play, so this one's coming back. Holding on the Inkster Vikings, it looks like.
There's McNeil, our 1,000-yard.
And there's the penalty against the Vikings. So that'll push it back to the 35-yard line.
Is McNeil a junior or senior?
McNeil is a senior. He was a transfer from Crestwood. There's the give to the second man on the reverse. That's Hernandez. And another holding call. So this one's coming back.
Inkster having some success running wide, which I thought they would have all night long, but they've been shooting themselves in the foot with these holding penalties.
So a face mask is thrown into that loop. So it's offsetting penalties. So they'll play it again from the 35.
Garden City throwing a lot of their subs in now.
Well, they are a deep, deep team.
And Inkster's forcing them to run wide.
That's Butler this time. Butler with the keeper. Butler picks up the first down. No flag, so this one will stick. There's a flag after the play. Of course, there had to be, right? Personal foul against Garden City. So he gets a little chippy, it looks like.
This should put the ball in Garden City territory, and I'm not sure, Dan. Is this the first time Inkster has visited Garden City territory?
It may very well be. I hate to sound like Mario and Pemba and hedge my bet. But
No, I think
right.
remember the fumble that started at the 45 of Inkster and wound up on the 5-yard line.
Right, so that play got moved back to about
Yeah.
the 40.
Inkster has been in
It's
Garden
the
City
second
territory.
time. The other one was just a little uglier. So 1st and 10 at the 44 for the Vikings. Garden City with 7:21 remaining like to keep Inkster off the scoreboard. Inkster goes to that tighter formation with 2 wideouts. And this time it's snapped. And this is ugly. The snap is to Hernandez.
Well, if they give him the ball where they tackled him, it'll be around about the 33. If they give him forward motion.
Well, they'll spot it at the 41, but the referee didn't blow the whistle till about the 35.
And Inkster had too much success being in Garden City territory.
They didn't like it there. So 1st and 10 for the Vikes at their own 41 now. So 32. That's Pittman comes this way. And this is Hernandez. And Hernandez with nowhere to go, and he'll slip on the turf. And Hernandez falls down around the 36.
The ball's on the 36 Inkster. They have to go to the 34 of Garden City. For
It's a long way to go.
I think it's a 2 transfer taxi cab ride.
About 30 yards to go for Inkster. I think if you take the D train, you can get there.
You know, I was thinking, Dan, you might have to replace me as color man because all my metaphors are from the 50s and 60s, and I don't know if any of your audience understands what I have to say anymore.
That's okay. Neither does anybody up here. There's Butler again rolling out. Butler airs it out and almost got it into the hands of Lewis. It was out of bounds. That'll bring up a 4th down. Zach Oliverio out on the field for Garden City now. That is a force to be reckoned with, number 78.
I felt the earth move as he was going out there.
He airs it out.
It would have been a 1st down if he ain't caught it.
He almost beat his defender there. So it stays at the 36, 4th down, although Inkster's liable to go for it with only 5:11 remaining. Or possibly punt it out of the shotgun. Butler deep for the shotgun. He's got 4 wideouts. Takes it back. He will throw. Airs it out. Jump ball. Nobody gets it. Garden City will get it back on the 36.
You know, he had a man wide open underneath, not even being covered, and he went for the deep man, but if he had taken the man that was wide open somewhere around the 47-yard line, they had a chance of picking up that 1st down.
So 1st and 10 for Garden City. Ball has crept its way up to the 37-yard line, so 1st and 10 for Garden City on the 37.
Yeah, the spotting of the ball tonight has not been precise.
I'm not sure the referees can see it once they put it down. Fumble on the snap. Hubbs will get it back. That'll make it 2nd down. Boy, the rain has let up only to the degree that it's less. But it has not stopped for 1 second. And we had a pretty good day today. But about 6 o'clock, I think it started to rain, and it has not stopped the entire game. We were out here most of the day. A couple of times the sun came out. It even warmed up. But an ugly night for homecoming. That's Jacob Little. He bounces off 1 tackler. You know, and it's unfortunate the way Garden City's schedule set up this year that they had to have homecoming as the last game of the season. That's less than ideal, and obviously the weather gets a little dicier the later in the year it gets, although the season not that long ago, started about 2 weeks later, but once they added the extra round of playoffs, the extra 2 rounds of playoffs.
Well, you get 2 games before the kids come into school.
And
so.
I'm not a big fan of that. I know why they do it, but I'm not a big fan of it.
Well, it's all about the Thanksgiving weekend.
Right, all about that Saturday, Sunday, Friday, that Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Saturday at the Silverdome, or at Ford Field. And there's Hubbs on the keeper as Hubbs gets close to the first down.
Now, if you made it any later, you think about all the teams that play that week before Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving, and you think in terms of a lot of the small schools, all the basketball teams on the football team. And those I know I'm talking to a basketball coach now. All his players are on the football team, and they're going to the playoffs, and he's not extremely happy about that. I mean, he's not against the playoffs, but he's not going to see his team until Thanksgiving.
So 1st and 10 for Garden City, and a flag on the play, and we'll get motion on the Cougars.
And you get in those B and C and D schools, and where the athletes are limited, and you usually have out of your 12-man basketball roster, 11 of them are on the football team. You know. That's why I coach girls basketball. None of them are on the football team.
They don't play football?
No, none of them are on
Although
the football.
if you had a couple on the football team, that might be a good thing. If you had girls big enough to put on football.
I dare somebody to come up the middle.
Whoa, and right across the line of scrimmage is Daquan Chambers, but this ball is still live. What in the world happened? Gian Grande, there's a flag back in the backfield. I thought that play was dead.
It was dead. He backed off away from the pile, and he wasn't down.
I'll tell you what, these guys have got to blow the whistle quicker on forward progress. I mean, this is crazy. Chambers comes across. He's got him in the grasp. He was in the grasp. He's down. He's down. That's ridiculous. Flag is waved off, and the touchdown's going to stand.
Well, I've been telling you that Inkster is not tackling the ball carrier. They're standing him up and trying to strip him. And I don't know if that came from the coach or the players had some success early in the game and they just got addicted to it. But we have had 5, 6, 7 plays that should have been down and that more yardage was gained after a missed tackle. And that's all that was, a missed tackle.
Well, not to take anything away, I called it Gian Grande, but it was Jacob Little that scored the touchdown. At the 3:01 mark.
We had a couple Inkster players. And to say this has been a sloppy game, Dan, would be an understatement. There have been so many penalties, numerous fumbles, couple interceptions, missed tackles. You're going to keep this game tape if you're Garden City because you won, but if I was Inkster, I'd burn it. In fact, I'd just throw it out the window as I cross Cherry Hill.
The point after attempt is good, and that makes it 41-0. If we can watch that touchdown one more time, I'd like to see that because, like I said, I gave up. I thought Little was down.
That would be you guys in the truck.
Yeah, they're scrambling. They're scrambling.
Turn that one knob to the left until you see the beginning, and then there's a button that says play. And then the director punches it up.
There's no tape anymore, Ted. This is all in a computer now. So 3:01 remaining in this one, and Garden City up by a score of 41-0. Let's see this one more time. So,
well, I see he stopped. By look at, he pulls his foot out of it.
And then the pass to Little.
That's going to go on as a 20-yard touchdown pass, and it traveled 6 feet in the air.
That's. I think that's the definition of in the grasp, personally.
I don't know. Wet shoes are slippery.
So Bogowski will kick it off for Garden City in a big 41-0 lead for the Cougars.
Thank you, Truck, for that fantastic replay, and I apologize for any sarcasm that you may have interpreted.
You know, you've been a little crabby since the last game you did. There's the ball that goes out of bounds. So 3 minutes remaining in this one. That'll be a illegal procedure call against Garden City. So Inkster will take it at the 35. So Inkster still trying to break the shutout.
They got 2:45 on the clock and just 64 yards to go on the field.
You know, the way the rain's coming down, I'm not sure if it's easier to just leave this equipment out and buy new stuff. So Butler throws it up, almost intercepted, gets through to the intended receiver.
There was a welcome on that part sideline.
Number 10, Terrence Carter, didn't give up on it. Ted, what would you do in Groseal? Just leave it out and buy new stuff? Be easier?
No.
No?
I would have canceled those.
Is that what that text meant last night? Are you still doing the game? Do you see that got through the hands of the defender for Garden City?
Clock is running here.
That might have been Souders there, but with that wet ball, got through his hands. And into Garden City territory again for Inkster as the clock is running under 2 minutes.
Well, Inkster's out of timeouts.
They are. Butler, the left-hander, throws up an air ball again, and nice job on both ends of that play.
And they're calling it a catch.
They are. Tyler with a great tackle, and Filson with a great catch.
Watch the hit at the end of this catch here.
And he's a little exposed there because that ball took forever to come down. So 1st and 10 for Inkster at the Garden City 34.
I was just going to compliment you, Dan, on that. You claim to have a year-old graphic there, but I was going to say that was a very good effort for you to save the city money by not spending time making new graphics.
We're just recycling our stuff. That's
your
right.
Graphics. I'm very impressed.
There's a flag on the play. You were poking at open wounds the last game you did.
No, that was a compliment.
When you sent Henry to Toledo rather than here, wherever you sent him. So that's procedure against the Vikes. When Ted gets bored,
which I have been since the second quarter,
Ted decides to see what he can stir up. So 4th down.
My streak's still in there.
No KFC for Ted, and he was not elected homecoming queen. Butler has an opening. Butler trying to get to that 1st down. Butler makes it up to the 30. There's a flag on the play, because why wouldn't there be?
The worst thing about the flag, it stopped the clock.
No kidding.
It's just been an overall dominating night by Garden City, and
It's a face mask there by the Cougars.
They have their subs in here. Inkster's trying to get in the end zone, but Garden City has dominated the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball. Inkster has had success here in the last minute and a half, but before that, only one offensive play for a 1st down until late in the 4th quarter.
Again, my thanks to everybody who gutted it out tonight, and my thanks in advance to everybody for the nightmare they're about to experience trying to put this equipment away tonight. Shotgun formation for Butler. Left-handed pass, and a pass interference call is going to come there against Tyler. The pass was intended to Jones.
23 seconds left on the clock.
Let's see, I don't know. Ooh, that was pretty close. Pretty close. So Inkster will get a chance to punch it in with 23 seconds remaining. The ball will be spotted at the 7, so 1st and goal with 23 seconds remaining as Garden City will send some of their starters back in on defense to try to keep Inkster out of the end zone.
I think Coach Murray has decided the shutout's important to him.
Butler with 4 wideouts. Rolls out to his left. Puts it into the air. He's got a man open. Let's see. Incomplete. Clock still running. Should have stopped at around 16.
Well, no, you got the mercy rule, Dan. 41-0.
Oh, you're right. 41-0. So that's why the clock didn't stop. And that's going to end it here at Garden City High School as the Cougars come away with a big 41-0 win over the Inkster Vikings. Tomas McNeil with 3 touchdowns, Jacob Little with 2, Wyatt Giangrande with a touchdown, and Tomas McNeil passes the 1,000-yard mark tonight for the Garden City Cougars. So an outstanding effort by Garden City here tonight, Ted. They really clicked on all cylinders. They really came out big. They sputtered a little in the second quarter, and then they totally dominated Inkster here in the third and fourth quarter.
Well, we said the game was for pride. Garden City will finish up 5-4 with a very slim chance of getting the playoffs, and probably hurt by that non-game with Annapolis. But a fun game, Dan. Like you said, pride. The Cougars played all night hard. They dominated the game. It was a fun game just to watch because of all the turnovers and the penalties and the weird plays and the missed tackles. But it winds up 41-0, and the homecoming crowd is going to go home wet because of Doppler Tom, but happy.
So congratulations to all of our seniors as they win their final game here at Garden City High School. So for everybody on our Omni Edition crew tonight, for Harold Larson, for Brett George and Rob Rancor, who sat out in the rain for all of this, for our crew in the truck, Jared Seguin, along with our producer-director, Christian Gibbons, along with our engineer and producer, Jason Merrill, along with Cole Avis. I think I got everybody that's in the truck here tonight. I want to thank them very much for being here. So for Ted Fournier, this is Dan York saying so long from Garden City High School. Again, the final, the Cougars 41, Inkster 0. Good night, everybody.